We're waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp of an eaglet being born. Waiting for the chirp, chirp, chirp on this
He's got to turn. He's got to push
Monday
talk.
morning in this Congressional.
And after that fake silent introduction, now we're doing the real one. Welcome back, everyone. Did I say anything? I didn't say anything.
You said nothing.
This is episode 49. We are No Shots Fired, and we are also your galleon hosts. I am Balin. In a certain direction from me, above me is Zergy Boy. We have Junkblade and Doc.
Oh.
You're still Zergy Boy.
Hang on, no, you're not Zergy Boy anymore. Unless you got more stuff to say on the...
No, I sure don't.
Okay.
And obviously, for episode 49 will be called Enter the Congressional Incubator, which is a reference that I will never explain. Tonight we're going to be talking about Mario Maker 2, Shovel Knight, a D&D update from Junkblade, and our best SGDQ runs. As always, we'll finish up with 45 minutes of your questions after 15 minutes of topics. Let's get right in who's talking about Mario Maker? I'm assuming that's
me. Okay, yeah. Mario Maker 2
Lead us off.
Just came out for the Nintendo Switch a little while ago. And it's been a great time so far. Now, Mario Maker, as people probably know, is what allows you to create your own Mario levels in a number of different styles. So let's see, original Super Mario Brothers 1, 3, Super Mario World, 3D World, and New Super Mario Brothers, I think, are the 5 current styles. And they've added a ton of different stuff. I probably can't get into all the differences they've added for this new one, but the main thing that I've been playing so far has been a story mode, which is like essentially a bunch of Nintendo-created levels, kind of showing off like a lot of the newer mechanics and that sort of stuff. And it's been fantastic. I've been extremely impressed. There's been puzzle-solving levels. There's been, it's been more difficult. Like, there's been a difficulty range that I didn't necessarily expect. Like there's some where I died a fair number of times.
When you say difficulty range?
So like there was one where you had to beat the level without jumping, which if you're in a Mario mindset, it's pretty interesting, and it had you ride certain things that like popped up and deposited you on different platforms. It was a really cool, well done level. And then there was another one where you got all these different keys by using different things, like the POW block in one screen, the P switch in another, the spring, and just very cool utilizations of those items and stuff. So I haven't even gotten to the user-made courses, but I've been watching streams of people way better at Mario than me, and they're already making just insane, awesome stuff. Apparently, they have added multiplayer, where you all enter the same level and try to beat it faster than everyone else, which I hope they get. It sounds like it's a little laggy right now, which is not really a doable thing when you're trying to do a precise platform level. But if they get that figured out, I could see myself doing that a lot. Like, that sounds like a blast. There's also a more co-op mode where you just, all 4 of you try to beat the level kind of together, kind of thing. But it's a real cool little... I mean, the first game I enjoyed the heck out of it. Played it quite a bit. And I like how you can... I messed around with the level creator a little bit, but there's just so many levels being created all the time, and the addition of the story mode gives you a sizable... Like, I've played it for probably 4 or 5 hours already, and I haven't finished the story mode yet. So I haven't even gotten through all those levels. So that's a pretty good package. And there's just so many cool little things. I guess the one really cool thing is that they added a day-night mode. So there's all these different tile sets, like a desert, jungle, airship, castle, all the classic Mario things. And in daytime, everything works normally, but at nighttime, it gives certain effects to those tile sets. So, like, the underground nighttime flips the level upside down.
That's cool.
The jungle one adds poison coming up and down. The desert one makes the gravity all like you're on the moon, so floaty gravity. Like there's just all these different things you can do just by, and that goes into the levels a little bit. But no, really enjoying it. Jumpblade, if you want to go
into
into
levels, will you be making?
Oh God, I have no idea. I'll probably try to make a couple, and I'll be sure to update the audience when I can. But Jumpblade, can you get into Shovel Knight? I may be needed here for a little bit.
Yes, I absolutely can. So, I have finished the third campaign in the Shovel Knight saga. There's going to be a grand total of 4, as well as a versus mode at some point. The 4th campaign, Knight of the Cards, has not released yet, and that is going to involve King Knight as the protagonist. And that will be the last expansion to the Shovel Knight saga. After that, the company will be moving on to other things. This expansion involves the antagonist Spectre Knight and his quest to essentially regain his life and get freedom from the villain, the Enchantress. As the campaign goes on, there are flashbacks to what got him to this point, and fills you in a bit more about his character, his motivations, etc. The mechanics are very different from the first campaign, which I consider a very good thing because it makes it a true expansion rather than just a reskin of something else. It apparently took them like 5 years to develop the latest expansion, which I find both impressive and encouraging. That they're willing.
Now,
to put
why
that
do you
much
say?
effort.
Oh, just the amount of effort. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So in this one, your goal is to fight the other knights to get a grand total of 8 knights to join the Order of No Quarter for the Enchantress. Which, if you played the first game, you know is the 8 knights that you fight in that game. And so that tells you this is actually a prequel to the Shovel Knight campaign. After you beat 3 of them, you get interrupted by this guy named Reeze. R-E-I-Z-E. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Who breaks into your fortress and wants to vanquish you because you're an evil knight.
Sure, makes sense.
Then the Enchantress comes in, is like, oh hey, you'll be useful, and just immediately uses her powers to turn him evil, and then has you fight him to sort of test your mettle. And then from then on, she has him replace your acolyte who was letting you go to places, tosses your acolyte in the dungeon, and then he is the one that sends you places. And he's a huge jerk about it too, outright calling you a servant and other things like that for the rest of the game. Up until you beat the 8 stages and get to the Tower of Fate when your acolyte comes back. So, as you go through the game, you find out Spectre Knight used to adventure with a guy named Lewin, who acted as a father figure to him. I think he even called him father at one point, but they are not actually related. And both him and Shield Knight got up to the top of the tower with this strange amulet at the same time. He wanted the amulet. Shield Knight wanted to destroy it because of its evil powers. He ended up basically pushing Lewin out of the way when he was trying to prevent Spectre Knight from getting it, because the entire tower was collapsing around them, and he just wanted them to both get out safely. This ended up killing Lewin. Shield Knight, of course, got corrupted by the amulet as it took her over and turned her into the Enchantress. And then Spectre Knight, who was barely alive at this point, was then taken by the Enchantress, barely revived, and then used as her servant from that point on. The final boss of the game is actually a version of Reese piloting this evil mech-looking thing, and it's actually a really cool-looking boss, as well as a neat mechanic for the boss fight. You grind along his scythe on these rails, and it's a level where the back is constantly moving behind you, so you have to sort of keep up. One thing they do that I am very glad they do, if you run into the back, it doesn't immediately kill you like it does in some games, because the fight is obnoxious enough as it is. With all of the gaps and other ways it can just insta-kill you. So you beat him, and Enchantress appears again and is like, oh, perfect! This guy will work great as my 8th knight for my organization. And Spectre Knight tells her, no, I'm not letting you take him. You can have me instead. Because, as it turns out, Reese is actually Lewin's true son. And he doesn't want him having to serve the Enchantress when he's already literally half dead at this point and can serve in his place. And that's the setup we get for the original Shovel Knight campaign. And I guess I had pretty good timing because there's Doc back.
Okay.
I covered pretty much everything.
Oh, I missed it.
Yes, you did, but I can give you a recap after the stream is over.
Okay.
I was going to cover one thing about this game that bugs me, and this is a thing a lot of games do. This is a personal pet peeve. I'm not saying the game is in any way worse for doing this, but a lot of games will continue to give you a resource, in this case gold, long after you have actually spent it on everything you can possibly spend it on. So you just keep accumulating a resource you can never again use.
Until... Yeah.
So, the little side thing you can do in this quest is search for these red skulls, and if you get all 100, you get a special armor set and a special curio to use in either New Game Plus or if you just want to replay places.
I love a special curio.
I absolutely considered it worth going to the effort of getting all 100.
Cool.
I
think we talked.
Sorry.
I think we talked about this last time, but I'm very excited to see kind of what their next game is. Like, I really appreciate all the. I feel like they've wrung every bit they can out of Shovel Knight and done an excellent job in doing so. But I'm very excited to see what they do next.
Yes, I am too. I'm very excited for the last piece of the Shovel Knight saga, as they're calling it, and the versus mode, because that'll be really fun for when people are visiting.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, if you Google it, you can find all information on all of this, although not a release date just yet.
Okay.
They have said if you're going to get the get Shovel Knight, you should probably do it now while the treasure trove is still $25, because as soon as the latest expansion comes out, they're bumping it up to $40.
Oh.
I do like that anyone who bought the game originally or kickstarted the game still gets the expansions for free. That's an amazing thing.
Because they've gone well beyond what anyone probably thought when they bought that game originally.
Yeah.
Right? So
for it's probably been some of the best $10 I have ever spent.
Then again, I own it on the Wii U, so maybe not so great for old Doc. But what can you do?
I think that is it for my summary of this.
Quick interlude here, guys. We're looking fucking sharp tonight. I'm looking at the webcams, and we are just fucking sharp.
Aren't we?
Right
Aren't
now.
we?
Clean cut. I mean, if we look back at a couple of episodes, we're some scraggly men on those episodes.
This is one of my best backgrounds.
I say this is a great background.
Can I make a request? Well,
J Money,
like,
clean cut, junk blade, high and tight, loving it.
Just everyone give a little bit of a finger gun action.
Shooter. Shooter, great, one of the greatest movie character names.
Yeah.
Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
Also one of the greatest movie characters.
Yes,
Period.
yes, that guy
You think
owned
that was
that
his
role.
legal name?
I would hope so.
It's gotta be.
I don't think it is, but
Well, that's based on a true story.
of
Have you-
course.
It's actually a documentary. Did you not know that?
It was filmed live.
I believe that was the 1993 PGA Championship
I think so.
tour.
Opening
At
tour.
Crooked Stick, sure.
Golf. Taylor.
Speaking of golf, Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm not sure how those two things are related.
Think
In fact,
about it. It'll come to you.
I don't think I've had golf in any of the D&D campaigns I've played in.
Oh,
So,
well. We're
How
playing them
tragic
wrong
was
this
it?
whole time.
When Happy Gilmore turned out to be Adam Sandler, that really broke my heart.
all right, so the twist in The Sixth Sense is it's Bruce Willis the entire time.
Oh no, that guy everywhere.
Wait, you mean with the hairpiece?
Before I get into D&D, I just want to mention this random bit of news I read. Netflix is making a Cuphead animated series, which will be really interesting to see how they do that. That's one of those Netflix things that could be amazing, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be terrible.
I really gotta just walk into their offices and be like, "Hey guys, I've written some stuff. Let's work on."
The only way I see that being good is if they really commit to it and just do Looney Tunes style, like 10-minute things where like no one talks and they just like they get a Wile E. Coyote character that just gets fucking wasted at the end of each episode.
Do you mean drunk, murdered, or both?
You pick. I think it'll work in that style. But yeah, anything if they try to oh god. No. Interesting. I'll be interested to see what that ends up being. Oh, speaking of Netflix, I started watching Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That was a mistake.
It's something. Have you guys seen that show?
Sorry, could you say the name again?
Neon Genesis Evangelion?
No.
No?
I have not seen it. I have heard about it a little bit from friends.
Holy shit, guys.
It is not something I would enjoy.
I may need someone to embark on this journey with me.
You need somebody to suffer with you.
Holy shit, guys.
It
doesn't sound like
this thing is fucking bananas.
It is not your kind of thing, Evan. So, it is a mech anime where the main characters are teenagers. There deals a lot.
Only 14-year-olds can pilot these mechs, gang. I don't know why, but they said so.
It's really angsty and grimdark. That's why I'm not interested.
Although
in it.
fairly widely touted
Yes.
as the best anime of all time.
Okay, well, those people are wrong.
Okay, well, that's almost everybody that I see anywhere.
I actually talked to a lot of people who were not that impressed by it, so we have very different groups of people we talk to, apparently.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at. I've looked up just like best animes and just kind of clicked on some articles from anime men and women. Oh nope. Hit that
And
button.
I'm sure it's one of those things that I'm sure has a lot of
Code Geass, Dragon Ball Z.
I
There
will.
it is, number 5.
I
Neon
will-
Genesis Evil.
I will say visually, so like there have been visual elements I've been very impressed with for like a mid '90s animation thing, like the shots that have I don't know. Like
That is
visually, I've
fair.
been like, oh, this is very impressive, but then like stuff happens, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
And
apparently,
I'm
it
sure
just
it's-
gets more.
yeah,
bananas.
it gets more and more what the fuck is happening. And I do want to say I don't mean to actually diss on the series at all, because it's very much considered a classic anime in a lot of senses. In the same sense that Dragon Ball Z is considered a classic.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very much not my thing. So I am probably not going to get invested in it. It's a long series where nobody wins.
Is it? It's only like 26 episodes.
I consider that long for an ending where it's that I would not find satisfying.
Junkblade, we're talking
Spoiler.
we're talking about anime here, okay? 26 episodes is a blink of an eye. How many episodes of Dragon Ball Z are there? Like 400?
Let's check real quick.
There's a lot. I did the abridged version of Dragon Ball Z, and it was 140.
Well, that's because
Jesus
you didn't
Christ.
watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which is only 80 right now. And also
It's
way
still
better than
way-
Wait,
original
they
Dragon Ball.
abridged on Kai even?
No, it's a joke series made by people who it's a loving send-up, not just criticizing the series.
Okay.
But it's actually written really well.
Okay.
it's-
Gonna be honest, really enjoyed Dragon Ball Z. Really enjoyed it.
Really do enjoy.
I did. I enjoyed the heck out of it. As someone watching it for the first time in the last year, I was like, this is ridiculous, and I'm on board. So
It's just something that hasn't aged all that well for a lot of reasons, but
I
it doesn't
just
make it bad.
contradicted that, Junkblade. I said I just watched it now. I said I enjoyed it.
What do you think hasn't aged well about it, Chuck?
Uh,
Jay Money, how do you think it's aged?
Well, Mr. Popo is not great. We can start with that. Not great.
Yeah, there's
Nah.
a character that is very blatantly blackface, and it does not come across good.
It's not good. It's not good. There's some bits with women that probably aren't great. They bribed one of the Grand Supreme Kais with getting to touch Bulma's boobs, I think. They don't follow through on it, but that's the deal they strike at the time.
It's one of those things where it has a lot. This series in general has a lot of value for basically starting the entire genre of shonen anime in a lot of ways. Like, it's one of those things where if we didn't have this, we couldn't have this or this. There's just other things since then that have done very similar things better.
Fight It Out is the greatest intro song ever written. I will not hear anything else. Just great.
Just ever?
Just full stop. Greatest ever done. Greatest to ever do it.
Jay Money, what's your favorite intro song for any sort of series?
Pokemon was pretty strong.
Okay. Pokemon's pretty good.
really good.
Pokemon pretty good. Which version of Pokemon though?
The OG.
Okay. Well, I think
Can I
X
tell
and
you
Y
guys
actually did a better version of that. Sorry, Valen, go ahead.
My favorite intro song is for the Jetsons. Remember that one? Jetsons, meet the Jetsons.
Aren't you singing the Flintstones?
Where a yabbin dabbin, you spaceship guy.
Yeah, but when Jay Money made that joke earlier, I just haven't stopped laughing about it. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we brought it into the podcast with the appropriate amount of lead-in.
You're talking about great intro songs. That's bar none. Hands down the best.
All right. Well, I'm sure I'll browbeat one of you into watching that with me, because I need someone to help me out.
Only 26 episodes.
That's pretty short.
I'd knock that out.
What, the Jetsons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that long.
Yeah. This is the Japanese version of the Jetsons stream. You should check it out.
Is it translated or is it in its raw Japanese form?
I think you can do both.
Okay, that's good.
So.
I personally have a lot of favorites. Anime intros, Pokemon is one of them. Dragon Ball does actually have a really good intro. Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, the first season, that's...
Wait a minute. You watched Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes!
What? What?
I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, God, that series just... Oh, God.
It ends well.
What a fucking bummer. I had to stop. I can't. After you know what episode I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly which episode you're talking about.
Jesus.
Episode 4.
Criminy. God.
I saw glimpses of that because Ben just finished watching it, and
Oh.
it was a little too out there for me, I think. I just don't understand how anime works, I don't think.
Full Metal Alchemist is not like an anime to get started on. It's 64 episodes long, so it's asking for a lot of investment, and the start is kind of rushed because there was another series before it that hit a certain point, and then the rest they had to make up because the manga wasn't there yet. So they kind of just assumed most of their audience would have seen the original because that was accurate at the time, and so they rushed through the bits of it that was the same, and then the pacing improves a lot once you get to the part where they diverge and it becomes the actual intended story.
Okay. I just sent the Dragon Ball opening in the chat, so everyone can enjoy that at their leisure.
Oh, I was thinking of a different opening.
Of course
that
you
I
were.
Like.
Okay, sorry, I careened us off a cliff there.
Oh no, it's fine. We're still only like half an hour into the stream. Because I've been keeping track.
Okay. And that concludes our anime hour. Brings us right into
what? Yes, into the original intended.
A smooth landing, if I say so myself.
So, this session was not very long for a variety of reasons. We couldn't get started until late, and then a lot of people had to go early. This time we resumed the Star Wars campaign, and also started planning for a campaign that another player is going to start running in the near future. In the Star Wars campaign, we got off of the planet with the weird living force-sensitive crystals called the Shard.
I do think you also need to remind us who even we are and what you are doing before going into, because I don't remember anything.
Alright, so we is myself playing a Jedi. Then there are 2 Mandalorians, one person who's piloting the ship, and one who is just hired muscle. And then the last is, of the consistent people at least, is this doctor who is on the run from the Black Suns, which is an evil gang, because he killed the son of a gang boss when he was performing surgery on them. It's Allegedly, it was an accident.
Hit me with some character names. How good are Star Wars names we got here?
We of the 3 I remember,
Okay.
we have Sarah, Max, and Carcass.
Boy,
Jango Fett Skywalker.
boy, that's
That's a great. I want to play.
I'm a little disappointed in the lack of Star Warsness in the names there.
I'll be
Yep,
Captain.
We got Chad, Brett, and
There's no Dash Rendar among that group. That's all I have to
There's
say.
no Dash Rendar among that group. Maybe the captain has a weird name, but I can't remember what it was.
Okay, real quick. 5 random Star Wars generated names. Obscu Regalia.
Great one.
Naren
Winner.
Katarn. That's a good one.
Great one.
is that with a Q?
Ruby Zerago. Zay Elson.
That one not.
Rui Arnjack. See, I think you pepper those in.
It's like Armstrong. I don't know. Louis Armstrong, Armjack.
What's the second one again? I want that to be my name.
I've already generated
Already
another
done.
set. I'm off and running. Keep going. Sorry.
So my character, while meditating, received a force vision of this person who was in Revan-esque clothing, among this planet with 3 moons. One of the moons had basically been blasted into an asteroid field, and at some point there was a battle here because there is a ship graveyard in the asteroid field. So my character took that as a sign that, well, that's where we need to go next. This is where the Force is telling us to go.
Did anyone say that it wasn't a moon?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We make that joke probably once a session.
Good.
even
Requirement.
if-
Thank you.
Even if we're not playing Star Wars.
Okay, good.
So we go to this system, and we find out that the ships in the graveyard are all from the Clone Wars. And we get, after looking through the ships for a little while to see if there's anything salvageable, anything worth anything, and finding absolutely nothing. We go down to the nearby planet, and we see a settlement of people that are here. And they are all actually descendants from clones that were... clones and other people, obviously, that were involved in the battle above and just were never able to find their way back to the Republic afterwards. Presumably, what ships they have don't go that far anymore. And this is like 300 years after the Clone Wars, I think.
Okay.
The person is a little unclear on the exact timeline of things sometimes. So once I get the timeline nailed down, you guys will be the first to know.
Got it.
We find we're greeted by the people with guns pointed at us because everybody who's ever visited the planet before is hostile, and they've got quite a lot of bodies piled up of the people who are hostile. Some things we don't recognize, a lot of things we do. One of the things we recognize are the Yuuzhan Vong, who If you don't know what that is, consider yourself lucky. They're from a part of the expanded universe that is controversial at best. And then topping the pile is a Sith, which we know from basically the black robes and red lightsaber.
Is it the master or the apprentice?
Presumably apprentice.
Okay, what's the Darth name? Really?
We didn't find out.
Darth
Apparently
Dillon.
he died like a bitch.
Oh, Darth.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Who killed?
That's what I was just about to get to. So we talked to the people. Okay, so who killed this guy? We'd like to talk to them. And they're like, oh, the Council of Elders did. And, we say, okay, well, we'd like to see this Council of Elders, because the Darth Medium is a good name for him. Because the wounds on this guy are from a lightsaber, is what our doctor found out. Or, I forget if he actually has his medical license, so doctor to be, possibly.
Okay, that's good.
We go into the council chambers, which are set up like a Jedi temple, and there are 5 Force users here who are way more powerful than anyone in the party right now. So the captain of the ship, both because he had to leave and because he's a Mandalorian who does not like Force users, just decided, screw this, I'm out, I'm going back to the ship. The rest of us went in, and then everybody in the party, except my character, basically decided to leave the area and start screaming when the people in the council said that when they were first here, Darth Revan was still alive and with them, and then he left.
And Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, which would make him roughly 4,300 years old at this point, at least.
So up there. Probably not physically imposing. So, an easy takedown.
Apparently he still looked as good as he did in Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, man. Have you brought a lightsaber to this session, Junkblade?
I do not own a lightsaber.
Oh, boy. That's disappointing.
I am sorry to disappoint you.
Sauron the Hutt is a winner. That should be bad guy.
That is a very nice looking lightsaber.
Hey man, be careful with that.
And the
I'm trained, don't worry.
color, it seems.
Oh yeah, this is the OG shit.
Do not burn yourself.
I very much approve. So, after finding this out, this is pretty much where the session had to end, sadly, because another person had to leave, and that would leave it down to 2 players.
Oh.
I don't have anything in mind that can be done by 2 players, so this is where we should leave it, because I have to go pick up somebody anyway.
That's quite the cliffhanger, right there.
Yes, it is. I don't think we're going to be able to get any more of this done this Saturday because of his schedule, but probably planning for the campaign that I mentioned, which is for a setting called Vampire the Masquerade.
I've heard. Is that a?
It's made by the company White Wolf.
Okay.
it's a very interesting setting, and the person in charge is saying basically ignore some of the creepier stuff in it. The idea is to have fun. Everybody in the party is supposed to be friends with each other, and we're basically just going to be going around San Francisco in the 1980s.
So which one of you is going to turn on the party?
If I had to guess, that the guy who is playing the Mandalorian ship captain.
Okay.
He seems the most likely to turn on the party.
Does that have to happen, or
It does not have to happen.
Sounds like it does, though, from that setup.
In the way the books describe it, most of the time of each other as time goes on and hate each other, but at a certain point we wouldn't really find that fun, so we're just doing it our own way because it's going to be more fun, and if it's not fun, then what would be the point of doing it in the first place?
Do you remember us talking about Evangelion a little bit ago?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So I will give you guys more updates on that as it develops. Only 2 of us really have characters so far. One guy is playing a Nosferatu, who looks very similar to the character of the same name.
I say, isn't Nosferatu just a dude?
Nosferatu.
yeah, I thought it was like a guy. Is that a
Is Junkblade frozen for anybody else?
yes for me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you went a little digital for me a minute ago too.
Looks like it's on his end because you guys are fine still.
Maybe he's getting ready to sneeze.
I'm not dropping at your friend. Well, then he is winding up something
Nosferatu
serious.
is possibly an archaic Hungarian-Romanian word synonymous with.
It's a symphony of horror.
Possibly?
That's what Wikipedia says. That is the exact same.
Wikipedia, unsure. Okay.
Yeah, that. I can't imagine a less sure sentence than has been presented as possibly. Has been presented as possible. It means somebody came up and was like, maybe.
How many different countries did they name also?
They said a Hungarian-Romanian word.
Okay.
Is Hungarian Romanian? I mean, maybe there's a lot of crossover.
We're
But those
still
are
talking about Nosferatu.
Yes, I think so.
yes, and we'll
You're
never
both-
stop.
You're both wrong. It is a 1922 German expressionist horror film. As you know, is directed
Right,
by F.W. Murnau. And you'll never guess who starred in that film.
Schweinsteiger. Oh no!
Max Schreck as Count Orlok.
Yes.
Oh,
You're
everything's
cultured.
gone to plaid.
You're very cultured. But the film itself was shot in 1921. But
My setup.
not very people know it wasn't released until 1922.
My
Directed by
setup.
F.W. Murnau. Such a great.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's a break.
Well,
Hey, look at that.
We totally got boned on the. Oh,
It's a big
Oh, there we
chrome
are.
green.
hang on.
I had a disconnect for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes.
Okay, so Nosferatu is just the name of a guy. In the setting, they decided to name an entire vampire clan after him because the idea is that every member of this clan suffers from horrible deformities like the character.
Sounds rough.
Was the character a vampire?
In the setting, I believe so.
Okay, I'll allow it.
There are 13 clans, some of which are way more interesting than others. I'm the only other one with a character idea right now. I'm a character who has been running a bar since Prohibition era, and there's more than a couple of ways to get away with doing that without raising suspicion at this time anyway.
Are you a
What year?
sexy Twilight vampire or a gross blade vampire?
Or what about a sexy True Blood vampire?
Oh, I didn't think about True Blood.
I am not a sexy vampire.
Oh,
The character doesn't look any different from they did when they were alive.
okay. Are there going to be any sexy vampires? You could have been
It is
sexy when you were
impossi-
alive. Confidence,
it is a-
Junkblade.
Well, I'm not saying that they look bad when they were alive. I'm just saying I'm not going over the top sexy like True Blood or Twilight. I'm sure somebody will end up doing that. And if they do, I will, of course, tell you guys first thing when it comes up.
So you're all vampire.
You're all vampires in this setting. There are other settings. There are other systems in this setting where you have other options. There's werewolf, obviously. And
The vampire thing just reminded me of one of the McElroy brothers' Adventure Zone one-offs called Four Sherlock Holmeses, and one of the mentioned Sherlock Holmeses is a vampire.
That's a great
That's
title for something.
that is.
You guys the episode is so good.
I gotta find that.
Because
Then.
they're all playing a different Sherlock Holmes adaptation, and one of them is a vampire.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic. So,
Is one of them playing Sherlock Holmes from Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century?
let's see. One of them was Cumberdink
Okay.
Sherlock. One of them is Downey Sherlock,
Okay.
and then I don't remember
Popular.
I don't remember the other two. So maybe future Sherlock also. But
The vampire one really intrigued.
Do you know what was it in?
huh?
What show it was in?
I think it was in
Yeah, I
Adventure
don't-
Zone. I'll have to see if I can rustle it up. What was it called? Elementary? Let's see. Adventure Zone. Sherlock.
Elementary is with Lucy Liu and other guy.
No, that's Charlie's Angels.
Excuse me?
Right. All of the Charlie's Angels are Sherlock Holmeses, though. That is.
The Adventure Zone
this
Elementary is what it,
Yeah. Okay.
I believe,
Okay.
is what it.
Yep, that's it.
And that's really all I have to say about that campaign thus far. That's all the further planning that has gone on as of yet.
Okay.
So basically, two people have chosen vampires, and that's about it with that one.
The person who I expect to betray us, if anyone does, has said he wants to be a magic-using vampire called a Tremere, because some of these clan names are really out there. And that's all of the plan that he actually has right now. I imagine, like most things, he is going to focus on mechanics over the character, and in this case, that is going to be a really bad idea, because this is much more of a role-playing system than a mechanical system like D&D is.
Drake
D&D.
Longfang. What do we think?
I like it.
Okay. Do you have vampire teeth that you're going to take to the session?
I do not.
Do you have a good boo sound?
Are you the kind of vampire where your fangs retract or change, or do you always have fangs?
I will actually have to look into the details on that, because I think it varies depending on which clan you are. Some of them can do the, like, Buffy the Vampire style retracting.
Are you going to play
Other
during the
stuff all the
day?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to enter under an umbrella
How about a cloak?
and then make a really big deal about daywalkers. Good stuff.
So I believe that leads us into best SGDQ runs.
Okay, who watched any of this? Anybody?
I didn't, and you've got 2 minutes, so
2
you
minutes.
gotta really
Okay,
hit us with a quick.
2 minutes, really? Shit.
I believe so. Is that not right?
I think it's more like 9, but
We're at
Yes,
51
I-
minutes right now.
yeah.
Oh.
You've got 2 plus 7 minutes.
Excellent. Okay.
Minus 1 minute for this delay.
Another fantastic marathon. They broke $3 million this year.
Nice.
So very, very cool stuff. Let's see. Recommendations. Anything with Mario in the name is going to be a winner. There is a Super Mario World blind ROM hack relay race, which was fantastic.
Interesting.
So they were playing basically Kaizo levels, switching each death. It was real cool. But none of them had seen the levels before, so kind of watching them figure it out on the fly was great. There are actually 2 other ROM hack runs, Invictus and Grand Poo World 2. Both fantastic displays of Mario skill. Let's see. The finale run was Chrono Trigger, which was it's a 6+ hour run, but it's always fantastic. The movement in Chrono Trigger is a lot cooler than you'd think for like an RPG speed run.
Yeah.
But it's also cool to see him hit 3 million at the very end of it. So that was a very cool one. Let me think. The Link to the Past plus Super Metroid randomizer was fantastic. Very entertaining commentary and stuff, and then just watching them figure like the Link to the Past plus Super Metroid randomizer stuff is absolutely bananas. Because the items can be in either game, and you have to beat both games, so you can like
Yeah.
yeah. So that's awesome. Titanfall 2, actually, for like a more modern game, the movement in Titanfall 2 was really impressive. Like seeing how fast they were able to get moving, and the wall running and jumping in that game is really cool. And watching someone who's really good at it, very impressive. Someone beat Punch Out for the Wii blindfolded, which is
impressive.
which is insanity. So that was very cool. There's actually a StarCraft run, always good. People dominating the old StarCraft. I mean, just go to the Games Done Quick YouTube channel and just kind of click on one, and you probably won't be disappointed. It was a very solid year this year. I mean, the Majora's Mask 100% was cool, but that's another 5-hour-ish run, so that's a longer one.
Yeah, it takes a little while to 100% Majora's Mask.
But watching how like the routing they did was interesting, and kind of the glitches they were able to pull off. But I mean, any Mega Man game is good to watch. Castlevania games are good. Apparently the Minecraft run was good. I have not watched that.
What's a Minecraft run?
Yeah, I don't know. I may have to give it a watch here because I saw that and I was like, I don't even know how you do that.
You have to survive your entire life in Minecraft.
I think so. So that run's still going. Still on the clock on that one.
Great.
But I mean the Pokemon runs were good. Were interesting. Those are a little more, I guess I would say, niche because it's not entirely. Yeah, it's not very much Twitch skill or any of that sort of stuff. The Banjo-Kazooie race was actually good. That ended up being pretty close. But yeah, good stuff. Always enjoyable. I got some T-shirts that'll be coming at some point. Good T-shirt selection this year.
Chunk played the typing's getting.
Oh, sorry. Did not realize it was that loud. I'll
No
make sure
worries,
I'm on
no
push to
worries.
talk next time as well.
That's all right.
As a final little thought, just a random thing. If you have not seen Into the Spider-Verse, you absolutely should.
Oh, on Netflix now. Really cool.
Yeah.
Cool movie. Very interesting animation style and just, visually very impressive. But also just, good in general.
And that leads us straight to the question portion of our program. So for all of you people who've been saving up questions these last 50-some minutes,
Commander Root, I know you've got a question, bud.
Wait, yeah, who's in the chat tonight?
We got Cash Bear, Electrical
All the familiar
Longboard,
names out here.
Lurks. That's a good one.
Here's a question.
Hmm?
What is your favorite color, Doc?
Ooh. My favorite color? Oh god, blue, probably, right? I like orange though too.
Alright,
You did
Justin, I
not
got a
give a
question.
solid answer, so you are pushed into the rigid deck.
Ah, shit.
Alright, question for J Money. What's Doc's favorite color?
Malachite. That's easy.
Malachite? Is that a color? What is that?
I think
Describe that to
that's
me.
that's a gem quartz crystal thing, right?
Yes.
It's like green.
Not a color, I said, but that's fine. You had two different ways to get it right. And couldn't quite land that shit.
Here's a $30,000 piece of carved malachite.
I didn't know I was
Nice.
going to be quizzed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay, you only had to retain the information for
Junk
15
blade.
seconds previously.
The capital of
Junk blade.
Assyria is
This one's
Nineveh.
hard.
Junk blade. It's your turn for a question.
All
What
right.
was J Money's answer to the question of what is Doc's favorite color?
Malachite.
Well done,
Always good to end on a winner.
Doc. What was Junk Blade's answer to the question?
Azurite, I believe.
Nailed it. And on that note, this is episode 49, the Congressional Incubator, which we don't need to explain to you.
Nope.
Enter the Congressional Incubator.
We're all in it, gang.
That's
Get in there. Get it in there and ruminate a bit.
I have to say, nobody should look up clips of 1776, the musical.
Should we end with the national
Excuse
anthem?
me. Top 3 musical.
Yes, we end with the national anthem.
Behind Rent twice.
That's
I think it would have to be a top 3 for me because I've only seen 2 others. So it's in the top 3 by
that
default.
counts. I don't care. I count that. Big Ep coming up next, though. We'll have to figure out what special guests to bring back. A little callbacks for you longtime fans of the show. Which is probably just the people talking right now.
What about that movie about Johnny Cash? Is that a musical?
Ring of
Yeah.
Fire?
That's
Fireman?
pretty going. Walk the line.
Ring of Fireman?
Fire.
Gladiator, right? Gladiator?
I believe, yeah.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
The Gladiator is the best movie. I was like, oh, I've seen The Gladiator a million times. I could just turn this on to fall asleep. Psych. That's how you end up staying up 3 hours watching The Gladiator.
Were
You gotta be careful.
you entertained?
I was very entertained. I hate
Okay.
All right, I'll sing us out with the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early? That's it, right?
Nailed it.
We're the show. Enter the Congressional Incubator.
All right, I'm hanging up. Peace out.